After 2 weeks in the PDD, the Solihull Skarmours have managed 2 victories from 2 games with 2 very dominating performances.
Right now, I'm clicking baton pass because I think he's going to try and switch on me. Yes! Get in!
And that's left us in a very commanding position in the table, and one of the favourites for the league so far. However, this week it could all come crashing down around us as we have to play one of the most unpredictable, creative, hard-working individuals in the entire format. It's ItzDannyMac and the Warkagan Wakes. Danny is known for being an incredibly creative team builder who is very unpredictable to play against, and that kind of sounds a bit like someone I know. And when I say someone, I mean me. So this matchup is going to be very fun. 2 very unpredictable players who love using their lower tiers. What more could you ask for in a draft league game? Welcome to week 3 of the PDD. Now, if you want to skip straight forward to the battle and ignore the team builder, the timestamp will be on screen for you now, as well as in the timeline tool at the bottom of the video. But if you want to know what exactly we're bringing and the team that we had to prep for, stick around, because this is probably one of the most fun teams you're going to be seeing all season. And that fun matchup is going to be on screen now. And as you can see, there are a multitude of threats that I am fairly scared for. For example, there's a Regieleki right there that basically necessitates me in bringing both Jolteon and Iron Treads in order to counteract it. There's an Annihilate right at the top left of my opponent's draft, which obviously, as we know, is absolutely crazy with that Rage Fist boost. There is a Tinglu, which could threaten to set up all sorts of hazards, and actually looks surprisingly good with a Choice Band here this week. There is a Braviary, which just breaks me. I literally don't have a switch into a Choice Banded Braviary Brave Bird. The best I would have is Iron Treads, which still takes about 30%. We also have a Heatran, which, as we know, is just very, very good at picking off targets, setting up hazards, and just throwing around status at the opposition. And we have a Screamtail, which is ridiculously fat. Oh yeah, and there's a Regidrago in the middle, which, if I don't bring Sylveon, just wins with a couple of Dragon Dances behind it. So it's not a good matchup for me this week if I'm not very careful with it. But yes, there was a couple of options for game plans that I did consider. There were a couple of different tactics I wanted to try and employ, but I decided last minute that they were not going to work. For example, I wanted to bring a Trick Ring Target Uxie in order to trick a Ring Target over to the Overquill, which was probably the likely switch in, and then bop it with 2 mystical powers and kill it. But that was a little bit silly, very situational, and allowed a lot of my opponent's big threats to get in for free. So I decided to shelve that last minute in favour of the first one on this team, which is Iron Treads. Now, Iron Treads this week is going to be running an Adamant Max Attack 4 attacks set. I'm going Adamant because I don't need the extra speed to outrun anything else on my opponent's team, so I can fully take advantage of the Adamant nature. And the 4 attacks we're going are Earthquake, Heavy Slam, Mega Horn, and Rapid Spin. These 4 moves hit everything on my opponent's draft for at least neutral coverage and do pretty hefty damage to all of them, including Mega Horn, which is going to smash Tinglu right in its stupid bowl head. If I'm able to get a Rapid Spin up, I'm able to outspeed everything barring Regieleki, and from defensive synergy, it actually does really well against a couple of my opponent's big threats, such as Regidrago and Regieleki. The 2 Regis, basically, Iron Treads is here to say, get the fuck out of my face. The idea with this set is literally to keep it around so that Regieleki can't go ham if Jolteon goes down, and to also give a little bit of a check towards Regidrago as well. I figured with the team I'm bringing this week, Iron Treads had good defensive synergy and would allow me to switch into it fairly often and absorb some hits that the rest of my team would not want to be taking. So yeah, Greaves is back in for yet another week. And right alongside Iron Treads, we're going to be having his Paradox future form friend, Iron Hands, Floyd Mayweather Haymaker himself, coming back for yet another round of battling this week. And the reason that we've got Haymaker this week is for actually 2 reasons. The first of which is that Assault Vest Iron Hands is the best switch-in I have on my entire draft to Heatran, which has been a thorn in my side for generations. I cannot stand Heatran. I always overlook it in every metagame it's in, and it always comes back to bite me in the arse. And this week, I'm coming prepared for it, with a fully specially defensive, assault-vested Iron Hands to switch in and threaten it with Stab, Drain Punch, and basically some coverage for the rest of the team too. It is the best answer I have to Heatran. It also gives me a bit of utility versus the Regieleki. It can switch into a surprise Specs Vaporeon fairly well. And yeah, it's Iron Hands. Iron Hands going to do what Iron Hands does. It's going to be fat, it's going to sit there, and it's going to hit really hard. It's going to soak up hits, and it's going to return damage back. So that's all I can ask for. All I want is for it to do just that. And yeah, hopefully it's going to do some pretty big work this week. Now, the third one on my team is one of my favourite Pokemon and sets that I love to run in every single generation, and that is going to be Fernando with the choice specs this week. Fernando is returning, and we're going damage, baby. We're going the screaming little evolution. The screaming fairy type, here to burst your eardrums and shatter your hopes of beating me. Now, this is my favourite set to run on Sylveon because it just hits so surprisingly hard. It's got the Hyper Voice, Hyper Beam, Shadow Ball and Baton Pass just to get a little bit of surprise momentum in case of a Heatran switch in. But yeah, it just hits surprisingly hard. Max HP, max special attack with the modest nature is pretty much going to go crazy. I really love this Sylveon set, and I'm really hoping that it does really well. It's going to be one of my best answers to Regidrago, taking a +1 hit before KOing it back with Hyper Voice or Hyper Beam if I'm not 100% sure. And yeah, I just really think it's going to put in work here. It seemed like my best option to make sure that I was able to put some offensive pressure on when the Regidrago is out, because barring that Heatran, my opponent does not have a switch in for Choice Specs Hyper Voice, and even if they did, they're only going to go out to Heatran anyway, which I have a plan for in the Iron Hands. So yeah, Sylveon's cool here. Sylveon's going to do work, and I'm really excited to see what Choice Specs Hyper Voice Fernando is going to do. And another returning one from last week is going to be Sue the Cinderace, who is returning for yet another week of smashing people's souls in. And when I say that, I mean it's probably just not going to hit the field again, because every time my Cinderaces came, it's literally just sat in the back or came in to use a U-turn and then got the hell out of dodge again. Hopefully this week though, Sue is going to be able to do a bit more damage, because we're going with a Swords Dance 3 attacks set, and that is going to be Swords Dance, Pyro Ball, Gunk Shot and Low Kick. And the theory behind this is one of the most common switch-ins that my opponent's going to have to this Cinderace is going to be either Overquill or Scream Tail. And as I catch them on the switch with a Swords Dance, Overquill will get the -1 on me with the Intimidate, and then I will smash it back with a very, very strong +1 Pyro Ball, which is going to do pretty heavy damage. It's also going to hurt Scream Tail quite a lot, and it can't 2-hit KO me back, so that's really fun. And yeah, I just looked at the actual damage output of a +2 Cinderace and saw it just did insane amounts of damage to everything on my opponent's team. And I just thought, I have to bring this. I really have to bring this. Cinderace excels at forcing switches from the opponent, and this was like the perfect way to capitalize on it. I ummed and ahed a little bit about bringing Sucker Punch in that final slot, but I figured out that I just had to do the 3 attacks I've got here. Sucker Punch would have been great in case my opponent managed to get set up, but I just couldn't risk bringing it and then them going for a substitute with like Annihilate or something and completely messing me up. But yes, all good. Cinderace is really cool here, and I'm really expecting it to put out some big damage if I can get some Swords Dances off with it. So yes, Sue is going to hopefully score a hat-trick this week. But if Sue doesn't score a hat-trick this week, we have some Pokemon chilling in the back that are willing to step up and grab this game by the scruff of the neck. And the first of those 2 Pokemon is going to be my superstar of the season so far, Annie the Terra Jolteon, with Fairy-type Terra this week, with a modest nature, with 3 attacks and a little hidden gem move. So we've got Thunderbolt, Volt Switch and Terra Blast, and there's a reason why I haven't revealed that final item and final move yet, because this week we've got some heat, a little bit of heat going on with Annie. We have Terrain Extender Electric Terrain. And the reason for that, there's 3 different reasons. Firstly, it gives both Iron Treads and Haymaker, which is the Iron Hands, an attack boost, which, if they have attack boosts, they run riot through my opponent's team. That 30% attack boost in the electric terrain, it both powers up Thunder Punch from Haymaker and also gives Iron Treads a little bit more damage, which is really, really good and allows them to turn some certain 2-hit KOs into 1-hit KOs. It also powers up Annie's own Thunderbolt and Volt switches, making them a little bit more powerful. We've also been able to go Modest Nature this week because we don't need the extra speed from a Timid Nature to outspeed a +1 anything on my opponent's team. We also naturally outspeed Mouse Hold and the Screamtail, and it does some really cool stuff. Annie here is just going to put absolute offensive pressure onto my opponent, and if they do bring the Sandaconda, which is the only ground type they have, then I will just literally have a good matchup against it with the other Pokemon I'm bringing this week, and that is Chucho, the Hawlucha. Now, I'll talk a little bit about why Chucho is called Chucho in a moment, but I want to go over the set quickly before I do. And the reason why I'm bringing Hawlucha this week is because it has a very good matchup against the threats that I am worried about from my opponent. It one-shots Annihilate with Acrobatics, it one-shots Heatran with Close Combat, it has Thunder Punch in order to do massive damage to the likes of Braviary and Vaporeon, and it has Swords Dance to boost itself up using the defense boost from the Electric Seed to try and get the survivability to fire off a Swords Dance and start smacking through my opponent's team. We're going with an Adamant Nature with enough speed to outspeed Regieleki by 1 point under an Unburden boost, and with the electric terrain, if I'm able to catch my opponent out, if I'm able to pivot around effectively, I should be able to get Hawlucha in at the right time just to do exactly what it needs to do. And yes, I'm really hoping that Hawlucha can be the star of this team this week. Now I have to get a little bit sentimental for a moment, because Chucho's name is basically a reference to one of my favourite football players of all time, Christian Benitez, affectionately known as Chucho. When I grew up watching Birmingham City, I started watching the team around the 2010-2011 mark when we were in the Premiership. We'd just gotten promoted from the second division and we had a fairy tale first season where we finished 9th in the Premier League, and one of our star players that season was a man named Christian Benitez, Chucho. And Chucho was excellent. He had speed, he had technical ability, he had bravery, he had agility. He was such a great little player, and everyone, fans, players, the manager, everyone involved with Birmingham City was absolutely infatuated with this guy. He was only with us for 1 season, but he was a part of an absolute fairy tale and did a really, really good job, and has basically enamoured himself and enshrined himself in Birmingham City history. But unfortunately, after leaving Birmingham City, Chucho moved abroad to play in one of the Asian leagues, and while he was playing in a match, he collapsed on the pitch due to a heart condition that was unknown at the time, and unfortunately he passed away. Now, Chucho was loved by everyone around him. All of his teammates, all of the fans of the teams that he played for, everyone had nothing but kind words to say about Chucho, and I know it doesn't mean much. I know that this is only a game of Pokemon, but Pokemon is one of the few things in life that I think I'm fairly good at, and Chucho helped me get into a sport that is now a very, very big part of who I am and what I enjoy. And even if it's just a small token, a small reminder of the impact that this man had on my formative years and the impact that this man had on introducing me to a sport, I wanted to pay my tribute in some way. And as such, I figured, what better to do than name a Pokemon that's all about bravery, that's all about speed, that's all about technical ability, than to call it Chucho. So Hawlucha this week is hopefully going to be the star performer of this team. But yes, that is the team that we are bringing for week 3 of the PDD. Will we be able to continue this snowball of momentum that we have going from the first 2 weeks, or will we be cut down to size by ItzDannyMac and the Waukegan Wakes? There's only one way to find out. Welcome to week 3 of the fucking PDD.
How's it going, guys? Let's do it. We are about to get into the battle with ItzDannyMac. Links will be on screen, literally, as we speak. Guy seems like a really, really cool guy. He's been very helpful behind the scenes. And yeah, he just seems like an all-up, stand-up dude. I have nothing but respect for the guy. Really like him. But yes, he's got a very scary team. And he made some changes that I didn't spot until literally yesterday. So I've had to build this team kind of rapidly up against it. But yeah, should be fun. Should be very, very fun. We've got a little bit of a meme strategy here with some manual electric terrain from my Jolteon, which has terrain extender to enable some big punchy plays from my 2 Paradox boys. And yeah, should be very, very fun. Turns out the changes he made actually made my strategy a little bit more optimal. So love it when things work out. But yes, we are going to be searching in just a moment. And when we are, we're going to get into a very, very scary game. But yes, good shit. Cool, let's do it. Let's see if we can get to my music in time. Where are we, AI Professor? There it is. I need AI Professor for this one. Give him a good look, have fun, broski. And he's brought scary shit. Okay, Glastrier, I didn't expect that thing to be showing up. This may be some kind of a choice scarf Vaporeon, I reckon. Oh, this is scary. He's got Regidrago, he's got Regieleki, he's got the Braviary, he's got the Annihilate. Oh, scary, scary shit. I'm going to lead with Annie here, because he's got no ground type. And no matter what the hell he wants to do, I do obviously outspeed everything on this team except the Eleki. And Eleki can't really do much to me anyway. So I think leading with Annie here is a good idea, and depending on the matchup, I can then choose to just switch out or whatever. But yes, here is the start of our week 3 battle versus ItzDannyMac. Oh, scary. Let's go. He told me before he's bringing... Oh, I love the helmet. Annihilate this here. Okay. I think what I'm going to do... You're not doing the Joey thing, are you? You're not doing the Joey, are you? What's the least expendable member on the team that also beats this 1v1? He might be doing the Joey. And I do really not want to lose my Jolteon turn 1. He told me he's bringing a bit of a meme build. I'm going to go Sylveon. I'm going to go hard out to Sylveon. If I lose Sylveon here, that's fine. But I am not losing to a Scarf Final Gambit turn 1 on my Jolteon, who is literally quite. Fernando, you're literally here to break balls. If you can kill this thing, or let it kill itself, then cool. I knew it! Fucking knew it! We even get to live. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. I knew it. I fucking called it. Fucking called it. I literally had an epiphany as I saw that thing lead off. Like, oh shit. Alright, Eleki might be dual screens. In which case, I'm gonna go to Annie. Because this thing might be useful to keep around as a sack to be able to stall a turn out against something like a potential set of agility Braviary. And might also be able to stall some turns out by setting up Okay. Annie's here. Flash. Yep, had a feeling. This thing might just choose to explode on Annie at some point. So you know what? I'm going to change my... I'm going to go for double. I'll go for the terrain. I think the terrain here is really nice. Okay. So we're going to get up the terrain. We're not going to use our Terra just yet. There you go, buddy. Have some electric terrain. Now we're going to hard out into Greaves, as this thing potentially explodes on me. If it does, we take this quite handedly. Let's give me the Quark Drive. The attack's heightened. Yep, explosion. Okay. Oh god. One more gem. Oh, that's so good. That is so good. Oh, Danny, I love it. He's going for the 6 KO. Oh, that's so funny. I love this so much. Reggie Drago. This thing might be scarfed. Now the Alecki's down. I mainly only really bought this thing for the Drago. Not for the Drago, sorry, for the Alecki. So I'm kind of happy to just go for a rapid spin right here. So I might live whatever it chooses to do. Then hit it with an Earthquake afterwards. Okay, it's not Scar. I am going to get the Speed Raise. I'm going to drag that. Okay. That's less than ideal. Okay. So we used Reflect first. How many turns has it got left? Check target. Check status. 1 turn of Reflect left. I think I hit it with Earthquake. Yeah, I think I do that. And I've still got Terra Fairy on Jolt, so I'm going to be able to avoid any kind of dragon move he wants to hit me with. I know this one like this. Okay, I won't live next one. So go for a second dragon. Okay. Maybe I should have gone for a second rapid spin. Yeah, Reflector's gone now. What does this thing actually learn? Oh, God. Okay, your Reflect's gone. What does this friggin' thing learn? Does it get Earthquake? It's Earthquake. Oh my god, it's got a pretty massive physical move. This thing's gonna be a problem! Ah! So I know it's Dragon Max. It gets Crunch, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, Explosion, Facade, Fire Fang, Hammer Arm, now Ice Fang. Am I able to beat this thing? No, I've got Chucho. I've got Chucho, who will outspeed this with the electricity. So, let it take me out. Reeves, you've done fine. No problem. No problem with this whatsoever. Now I'm going for Chucho. Electric Terrain's still going to be on the field. You've got no screens anymore. Chucho is now able to threaten this thing out. I think. I pray. I beg. Still got quick attack on. Oh, I can quick attack on it. I'm an idiot. Oh, God. I didn't even put Sucker Punch. Oh, I'm an idiot. I have to freaking pray that Chucho's able to... Oh, God. Okay. Come on, Chucho. Come on, Chucho. I'm begging you, buddy. I'm begging you. Begging Chucho. Get your loving hands out, baby. I'm begging you. Please kill the Reggie Drago. Riding high when I was king. I'm gonna die to everything. Gotta hope Hawlucha lives or manages to kill this with one attack. Reggie Drago. Don't know what it said is. My acrobatics with no item does about 46 to 59. No, it doesn't, because I'm adamant. I think I have to go for the CC here. As much as I really, really don't want to, I have to go for the CC. Because I cannot risk. I know I'm adamant, I don't know what this thing's offensive investment is. It has to be the combat. I will outspeed. I do kill, okay. I have had to pop Chucho's seed a bit earlier than I would have actually liked. But at this point, I have to play the hyper offense game with him. Mr. Hawlucha over here. Chucho. Mr. Christian Benitez getting his first KO of the season. I'm so glad I decided to bring the Hawlucha here. The manual terrain. which some people will say is very silly. Okay, Bravio is here. Now, Electric Terrain Boosted Thunder Punch. Yeah. Electric Terrain Boosted Thunder Punch. Okay, so sets of agility. I still outspeed because of Unburden. If it kills me, fine. I will do massive damage to this thing. It does half damage. Okay. It is going to kill me. Oh, massive. Chucho, you did enough. You stemmed the threat. It's going to take big damage to itself. Lightfall. It doesn't die to Lightfall. Ugh, irritating. Okay. I'm going to go Annie. Just because Annie is a good mid-ground. If this thing is freaking Lightfall, I just saw that. Okay. So your Mons left. You got this, Vaporeon, and Glastrier. I think I'm just gonna reposition myself with Annie by going for a Volt Switch KO. Yeah. Reposition with Annie. Into my Cinderace. Right, what I want to do... Okay, so... I'm worried about potential Scarf Vaporeon. Because I figured that would be the sort of thing that he would want to bring. So if we go out into this Mother Flipper... No terrain anymore. It's fine. It's fine. Absolutely fine. It did its job. Vaporeon comes out. It's shiny Vaporeon. This thing doesn't get... Oh, it gets Acid Armor. But that's fine. I'm going to sacrifice Fernando to this thing. Feeling it's Choice Scarf. I don't know what tells me this. I just feel like it is, because Choice Scarf would outspeed my entire team. So, okay. Yep, let Fernando go down there. Then... do Annie? We could go Haymaker. I think Annie is probably better here. Yeah. I think Annie is probably better here. Then we click Volt Switch. Where we go? We click Thunderbolt. And we try to kill it with Volt Switch. I think that's what we want to do. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Damage! So that's only going to do half. I don't need my health on this Vaporeon. So I am okay to try and click Volt Switch and kill it. It is going to hit me with another sword. So yeah, Volt Switch is going to come out. And now it's Glass 3 Air versus Vaporeon. How do I beat this thing reliably? I think a Haymaker does 1v1 it. I think so. Okay. Well, what we have to do is hope that this isn't some crazy Glastrier set. I don't want to hit it with a Drain Punch yet. Just because if I hit it with a Drain Punch now, and it's some kind of crazy weakness policy set, that fucks me. So I'm going to go Thunder Punch first. I'm glad I never went for Drain Punch. Very. Well, thank God I never went for Drain Punch. I knew this was one of his Terracaptors. Way heavy slam? No, I think I've got to try and Swords danced on me though. I just want to quickly check this thing's moveset, because if this has some kind of weird, crazy priority, I'm in trouble. I know it's got the Chilling Neigh. It gets Trailblaze. Don't think one Trailblaze is going to be enough to make it faster than my fucking thingy. So I'm going to Heavy Slam. Not weak. Still don't do much. Stop him. Ow. Yeah, okay, Funny Punch is still probably doing more. Oh, nearly kills. You are going to get yourself a kill. You are going to get yourself a kill, my friend. But Iron Hands does not get a kill this game and does die. So now this thing's up at +3. So who's going to take the kill? Do I give it to Annie or do I give it to Cristiano Ronaldo himself? No, we're going to go to Annie and check if she's okay. And we're going to get the Shimon kill. We're going to get that Shimon kill. Shimon! Come on! This shouldn't have any kind of crazy priority on me. I don't think it gets anything, but that should be GG. It should be a 2-0 win. And that should put me 3-0 for the season. Please, I'm begging. I'm begging. Okay. That'll do. That is going to connect. Get in. Oh, fuck me. You had me so scared for this game, man. You had me so fucking scared. But yes, that is going to be a W. Our third victory in a row. We've defeated ItzDannyMac, who... That was such a fun team. That was such a fun team. I respect it. I fucking respect it. But yes, thank you very, very much for the game, Danny. That was so much fun. And yeah, GG. Yeah, madness. Oh, that's going to put us 3-0 for the season. And that pretty much guarantees that we're going to be first place for a while. So yeah, cool. I'm buzzed. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I will catch you guys next week when we come up our next opponent. I really don't know how to end this. That was a bit of a strange game to play. But yes, thank you very much for watching. I've been OnesieBanette, you've been beautiful, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.